Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie and this is Kitty Stitch. It's a place where I like to talk about cross stitch and all of the other things that I love to make. Today we have a ton of cross stitch, a little bit of knitting, and actually another hobby that I've taken up as well, which is English paper piecing. So if that is anything that you're interested in, then definitely be sure to stick around. It has been a little while since my last video, so appreciate y'all being here. Just been busy with life stuff going on. It's definitely best for me to film on the weekends, and we have just had crazy weekends. So I'm happy to get some time to sit down and show you guys everything that I've been working on. We'll say since it has been a while since I have filmed, that does mean I have a lot to show you guys. So about 22,300 stitches worth of progress to show today. So we'll just go ahead and dive right into things. I actually want to start off this video with a giveaway because I have broke 2,000 subscribers, which is something that I am so excited about. I just really never thought that anything like that would happen, and that even there was that many people that would be interested in cross stitch. So what we're going to be giving away today is a chart by Dirty Annie's, and it is perfect. This is so cute. This came out at Market a couple years ago. It does come with the button as well. And I just think it's so cute. My channel is named Kitty Stitch after my black cat Kitty. So that is, I just figured, very fitting for my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So if you are interested in winning this chart, I will pack it up and mail it to you. Leave a comment down below with the word kitty in it, Kitty, and that will enter you into the drawing. If you are the winner, I will announce it on my next video and reach out to get your information and send this your way. But yeah, super cute, and I love the little button as well. So there we go. Diving right into the progress, like I mentioned, about 22,000 stitches today. I have 6 finishes and 7 starts, so a lot of projects to get to. Let's just get right into things. We will start out with finishes today. So first one that I have today is an FFO, and that is Crafty Goose by FrizzyLizzieStitches. She is one of my great friends, so as soon as I saw this come out, I had to stitch it up. It's just so stinking cute. A bunch of people also added bows to their goose, which I absolutely adore. The finishing is nothing spectacular, but it just sits up on my pegboard there, and I think it is so cute. I stitched this with all the called for DMC, except I did swap out for 603 for the pink. Just because I felt like it matched the tone of my fabric better. And I just think it turned out so cute. I used a frame that I actually got on clearance at IKEA, I don't know, maybe a couple years ago. It had nothing in, so this was just fit perfectly. I mean, like, just fit perfect. So I'm so excited about this. I just used a scrap piece of fabric that I had, and it worked out super cute. So this is, again, Crafty Goose by FrizzyLizzieStitches. She just came out with this recently. I'll go ahead and link it below, as well as another one of my good friends, Cam of Cam Stitcher, came out with a design called Fade Into You. I'll insert a picture of that over top of Kitty, and it is such a good design. I absolutely love it and can't wait to stitch that one up either. She has 2 colorways for that one, and that was her very first design, so she just absolutely killed it. I can't wait to see what else she comes up with as well. Should have mentioned for this one, it was about 558 stitches. I started and finished it in one day, so I started and finished on March 15th, and it just turned out super cute. Next up is a Market haul item, and I have actually started everything that I got from Market this year, so I'm not going to include that in the haul portion, but it is some new stuff that I got, and this is one of them. It is Christmas Fawn by Satsuma Street, and I love perforated paper ornaments, so I had never tried any by Satsuma Street, but I do think that they are just some of the cutest designs, so I picked this one up separately after Market from Keepsakes. So here is what it looks like. I've got all my extras here, which is nice because she includes a lot of extra beads and floss, so there is plenty of that to go around. And here is my Christmas Fawn. She is so cute. I love the pink deer. She's just precious. I started this March 24th, finished March 27th, and it's about 1,032 stitches. So I usually tend to stitch these ornaments up pretty quick, and I will definitely be getting and picking up some more of these. I again, love perforated paper ornaments. I just think they look so cute. They're such a good, portable, easy project. And she sells PDFs of a lot of hers on her Etsy shop. So I'm definitely going to be picking up some of those. I have a couple of sheets of perforated paper that are just waiting to go for them. So as the holiday season gets closer, I will definitely be picking up some of those to work on. So that was my second finish. Unfortunately, my third and fourth finishes were a couple other ornaments that I worked on, and our puppy got a hold of them. So this is what they look like now. She really doesn't eat things, so I was so surprised when she got a hold of these and destroyed them. But luckily, like I mentioned, I have some perforated paper. I obviously have the charts for these, and I keep all my extra beads, so I'm gonna have to restitch these again. But I do still have them counted on my list, but now that I've shown them to you, I'm throwing them away. Next up for a finish I have is a Floral Alphabet Sampler, and this is by JBW Designs. I'll insert a picture of what it looks like here. And this is actually my oldest whip. So I started it on April 29th of 2024 and finished on April 14th of 2025. And here is what this looks like. Absolutely love it. I stitched it on 40 count Peony by Fiber on a Whim with Dinky Dye's pink tourmaline silk. This is a conversion that my friend Cam of Cam the Stitcher came up with, and it is just perfect, the monotone, and it just shows up like just enough to be, I don't know, I just love it. This was actually scrap that I had left over from another piece, and I had the flosses left over as well, so I'm glad that I got to use all of this up and get plenty of projects out of this amazing conversion. I did work on this for 6 days and got 2,306 stitches to round it out as a finish. Overall, I want to come up with some more unique finishing ideas. So in the comments, if you have anything that you think you've seen or that you've done yourself that is not just framing things, I'd be really interested in that. I originally thought this would fit on my stitching case that I made a few months ago, but it did end up just being a hair too big. So I'm thinking maybe a project bag, but I mean, I don't really even know how unique that is necessarily, but haven't quite come up with what I would like to do with this one yet, but I am just happy to have it done. It turned out beautifully, and yeah, that is Floral Alphabet by JBW Designs. Rounding out our finishes here today, I have Needles Dance. This is by Ink Circles, and this one was a bit of a struggle for me for a while because I did really struggle to come up with what colors I wanted to use for the piece that would work on my fabric really well, but I knew that I loved the design and it was something that I wanted to have finished. So here is what this is looking like. So fun. I just love how whimsy this piece is. I started this on February 11th and finished it on March 13th. Since my last video, I worked on it for 3 days and got 1,437 stitches. I'll link my conversion that I made on Instagram. I just swapped out like the blue, the green. Actually, that's a lie. I'm pretty sure I swapped out everything. And the fabric I should mention as well is 40 count Stratus by Color and Cotton. I absolutely love this color of fabric. It's just perfect, and I love the way that the variegation is for Color and Cotton. Like there's just a little bit, I don't really love things that are super variegated just because I struggle with like the color placement on maybe parts that are super dark or super light. So Color and Cotton just has the perfect amount for me, and yeah, so happy with how this turned out. Again, not sure how I'm going to finish it quite yet, but again, I want something, I don't just want it in a frame. I've got a lot of things framed right now. And actually, I'll show you guys that back there too, just a second. This is something that I actually just recently FFO'd, as I whack myself with it. This is Things Unseen by Lizzie Kate, and I finished it with fabric over the frame. So what I did was just buy a real cheapy frame from, there's like lint on it. I believe this was from Michael's, and I just actually covered it with fabric. So what I used was just Aleene's glue and then wrapped it around the sides. This is not archival grade finishing by any means, but that's okay. And I really struggled to get these lines straight. I told myself I would mess with it later and never did, but that's okay because I think that when it's up on my wall, you really can't tell, and more importantly, it is on my wall and is not in my project roll. So this was just an antique fabric that I picked up from my local reuse store. I think if I were to do this again, which I definitely plan on doing, instead of using Aleene's glue here, because you can kind of see it a little, I think I would use a spray adhesive or maybe even no adhesive on the front and just glue on the back to hold it in place. But if this is something you guys are interested in seeing, this fabric finished frame, I would love to make a video for you, so just let me know. And I just use command strips to hang all my stuff on the wall, the Velcro ones. I find that those work the best. We have really old plaster walls, so I try not to nail things in if I can because it's just a pain, but I'm gonna go put this back. Things Unseen by Lizzie Kate. So that was 6 finishes, if you count the 2 that my dog ate, which I'm counting them. I did finish them. Moving right into new starts, I have 3 new starts to show you as well, 2 of which are from Nashville Needlework Market this year. So first one I have is Springtime Florals. This is by Pickens Designs, and it's a part of her sweater weather collection. So I believe there is one for each season of this, but here's what the finished piece will look like. I just love this. I believe Pickens is actually a fabric designer for Moda Fabrics. So I love how this has like quilt block-esque pieces on it. And I have just been loving to work on this one. I'm using the called for fabric, which is Kiwi by Fiber on a Whim. And mine is in a 26 count. And here is where I am at. So stinking cute. The fabric is maybe a bit brighter in person as well, which I just think is so fun. I've never stitched on anything remotely close to this color, so I'm loving this. I'm using the called for DMC. I did get one of the fancy flosses, which is this blue color up at the top, just because it was the one that was used the most and it is highly variegated, so felt like that was a good one to pick up. But everything else is just DMC, and have loved working on this. This is actually 70%. So 3,383 stitches, 4 days of stitching. And I actually plan on finishing this at Stitch North, which I will be going to next weekend. I'm so excited for. So just a little bit left on that. I definitely can get it finished up, and it'll be perfect to work on at a retreat because it is 28 count. Next up, I have a piece that I started that I'm calling my Pink French Sampler. It is a part of a French magazine that my friend Megan of the Seattle Stitcher lovingly sent to me, and it is just so cute. I saw it on Pinterest and sent it in our group chat, and I was like, this is so cute, and she hunted down the magazine and sent it to me, which I really appreciate. So here is my start on this. I started it on March 21st, and it is on a 40 count Vintage Country Mocha, so it is the printed fabric, which is really cool. And I'm just loving how it turns out. As with a lot of European pieces, there is quite a bit of backstitch on this one. So I did get 1,196 stitches done, which is technically 30%, but it's going to take a lot more than that because of all of the backstitch. But I'm really excited for how this piece is going to turn out. It was a new start, so all of that is what I worked on. And yeah, no plans for finishing this one anytime soon, but I do want to have this one up on my wall. I'm using the called for DMC, and I just think all the pinks will match all my pink that I have going on back here very well. Next project is another market start. So this is Celestial Sisters Biscornu by Silver Creek Samplers. And there's what it will look like when it is finished. This is just so fun and so unique. I love the just design itself. I love that it's a 2-color Biscornu, so it'll be like front and back. And I started working on the moon side. So here is where I'm at with this. This piece of fabric is 40 count Joy to the World by Grace Notes. And I am at 32% on this, 2,031 stitches. Worked on it for 7 days since my last video. And I did actually add some beads as well. So like I mentioned, I keep all my beads from my Mill Hill kits. So I love to incorporate them into small projects when I can. So I believe these are 00161. They're just some clear beads that I think will be cute to incorporate. And then for the sun portion, I'll be using Blueberry Milkshake. And this is by, who's this by? I think Grace Notes as well. So yeah, really excited about that. I think it'll go really well together. I'm excited to work on the sun side because all the yellows and stuff, this is just a lot of gray. But I think I'll bring this one with me to Stitch North as well, just because it is some repeating motifs that will hopefully be pretty easy to work on while I'm just chatting away. So although I've been working on a lot of finishes and new starts, I did work on 2 current whips as well. First one being Carnival by Jan Hicks Creates. And here is where that is at. I got 1,807 stitches done on this. I worked like kind of down through this side as through here in these blues, and it is at almost 30%. I'm stitching it on 40 count cream and sugar linen by Atomic Ranch and using the called for DMCs. And this is just so vibrant. It's so fun. I love the repeating motifs. Again, it's just really nice to just kind of like chug right along down one of these lines and know what you're doing. Yeah, I just think it's turning out really nice. So that is Carnival by Jan Hicks Creates. Last project that I have is my stocking. I feel like I talk about this on every video just because I do have monthly goals for this project. So I'm trying to get about 2,700 stitches per month done. That way I can have it finished by October and get it sent off to the finishers to have it on the mantle by Christmas. So since my last video, I worked on this for 10 days, got 7,300 stitches done. I'll insert a picture of where it was at before. This is just turning out so well. Here is where I am at now. So did tons of work on this. It's just turning out so great. The houses look incredible. I love the like sky area, and then I'm starting to work on some of the little people down here, which are just turning out really cute. So I can't wait to have these done. A lot of it is half stitches, so it feels like I get a lot of ground covered when I do pull this out. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Dimensions does not disappoint, that is for sure. They might be a lot of work and absolutely massive projects, but they are totally worth it. So I do save all the backstitch for the end as well, because I like to take a before and after picture of before I backstitched it and then when I backstitched the whole thing. So can't wait to see that. That's like the best part, honestly. That is all that I have for cross stitching. So I've been stitching a ton. I've had a lot of time in the evenings to stitch, which has been really nice. And yeah, I'm excited to go to Stitch North. I feel like it's just gonna really reinvigorate me and bring a lot of joy and spark back to cross stitch too. So hoping over the next few weeks and few months after that, I'll have a lot of progress to show you guys as well. But moving into knitting, I have only been working on one knitting project, and that is my socks. So unfortunately, I've made a lot of socks. I've made probably 10 pairs of socks, but for some reason, just with these last 3 that I've made, I've really been struggling with my tension. So this is the second time that I've gotten to about this point because they were too small. So I originally started it with a size 0 needle, which worked for me last time that I made socks. This time they were way too small. They would have maybe fit my cat. So I went back up to a size 1, and here's where I'm at. I'm just starting to work on the gusset decreases here. This is some yarn that I picked up from the Fiber Festival in Yellow Springs, Ohio by Aisling's Yarn. I'll have it linked down below. They're my favorite sock base. It is a BFL 100% wool non-superwash, and they have just held up really well for me, and I love they're a bit more rustic, which I think in socks is perfect. So this color specifically is called the Water Horse. And like I said, I'll have that linked down below for you to check out. But this is great because I can just throw it in my purse. We're going to the soccer game later this evening, so I'm excited to get some progress into these. Hopefully get through the gusset decreases. And this will be perfect to work on in the car on the way to Canada. Next craft that I have is my new obsession that I have found, and that is English paper piecing. So if you are not familiar with English paper piecing, it's something that goes back hundreds of years, and basically you use found paper as your foundation, and then you wrap the edge of your fabric around it and stitch them together that way. So it is going to be a fully hand-stitched quilt. And I've seen this before quite a bit and always been interested, but then actually Tiger Lily Designs found a quilt from what I believe is her great-great-grandmother and started to stitch along for that. It's called the Grandma's Flower Garden quilt, and basically it is hexagons, and so they create a flower pattern once you build them further out and around. And I was talking to my mom about it, and she actually mentioned that she thought my grandma had some old quilts that were made by, we're not quite sure yet who they're made from, but what we believe is my grandmother's husband's, so my grandpa, his grandmother, I believe, is who we think we made these at this point. So I want to do some further research into who actually made these and when they were made, but I do know they were made from someone on my mother's side of the family. I'll insert a picture of what those look like, and I'm hoping that I can show them fully on a video for you guys at some point as well, next time I get to see my mom. But yeah, so that is like, I was already really interested in it, and then once I found out that there were some in my family as well, it made me more interested, just because, you know, what, at least 100 years ago, someone was doing this exact same thing. Like, that's crazy. So what I am using for mine is a fat quarter bundle that I picked up from the fat quarter shop. It's called Cottage Charm by My So Quilty Life, which is a Moda designer, and I'll insert a picture of what all the fat quarters look like. I've started cutting them out. So I have a majority of them cut, a few of them put together, which I'll show you, and then kind of how I'm storing them and some supplies that I have found that I really like when picking up this new hobby. So here is the two that I have furthest done so far. And that is this super cute blue one. Love it. This is the color that I'm using for all of my centerpieces, and then I've picked out a few solids that I'm going to be using for this second round, and then some of these more patterned pieces for the third round, and then I will connect them all together using a few different colors of green that came in the fat quarter bundle. So there's the first one. This one's not quite done yet, so it's a little wonky, but here's the second one. I just love this fat quarter bundle. I feel like it's so timeless. It's just, I love it. Like, these are little like postage stamps, and then similar to the blue, but in an orange. So those are my two that I'm furthest along on. And then I also have a few that I've started the first round on. So I have two of these pink, another blue, and two more orange. So I'm having so much fun with this. It's such a mindless, just sit down and be able to do it. Keeps your hands busy. I've stored a lot of my hexagons in this, which I probably should take this label off, but I picked it up from Michael's the other day. I thought everything would fit better, but as you can tell, everything is kind of smushed in there. I'm using 1.5 inch hexagons, and they just don't quite fit. So I'm struggling to find a way to store everything. So if you are an English paper piecer and you have a good way to store 1.5 inch hexagons specifically, I would love to know what that is. But like I mentioned, I picked up these hexagons from Amazon, and then you wrap the fabric around and then stitch them together. So having so much fun with this. I made myself a cute little bag to store all my supplies in, with some of the extra fat quarters I knew I wasn't going to use. So here's my little boxy bag that I made for myself. Turned out super cute. And then this stripes on the lining, and this just holds all of my supplies. Just a couple of things that I have found that are super helpful when doing this project. I use the Elmer's school glue because it is incredibly affordable and what will wash out. So this is what I use when I fold the fabric over the paper hexagons. And then I've been loving this. It's by Clover. I think it's for seam pressing. And I use this to press them down after I've glued them, and just to make sure that everything sticks, because for a little while I did have an issue with things popping up, and this just kind of helps not get my fingers as gluey as well. So that's been very helpful. And then this is by Clover. I picked this up at my reused store, my local reused store. It's like a stiletto, and it has a little rubber piece here that you can use to push things through your machine. But I love this to pop out those hexagons once I'm done, which I should have mentioned as well. So once you have attached everything to the hexagons, you could pop out the paper. So like, since these pieces are fully surrounded, I was able to pop out the papers, and then these still have it in because I need that stronger foundation to be able to adhere or sew on the remaining pieces. Then last thing, I bought about every thimble that I could find on the market, and I finally found one that works best for me, and this is again by Clover. I'm just now putting together that a lot of my supplies that I've liked are from Clover, but this is a leather thimble. I got a size medium. I did read online that it does kind of expand as you use it, so the mediums worked perfect for me. And it's just nice. I was getting a hole on my middle finger where I was pushing the needle through. So I just wear this on my middle finger and it helps prevent that. So yeah, I'm having so much fun with this. This is definitely a long-term project. I do plan to fully bind and quilt the entire thing by hand as well. So yeah, I just love that it's so traditional. It's something that has been going on for forever, and it just makes me feel very connected to women in the past. I don't know. So yeah, that has been something that has been bringing me quite a lot of joy recently, and I hope you guys will enjoy seeing progress on that as well. Last couple things to cover today is just a little bit of haul and a little bit of plans. For a haul, I picked up some stickers with my logo on them. How freaking cute are these? I cannot wait to pass these out at Stitch North and StitchCon and other retreats that I go to. I just think they turned out so cute. My friend Elizabeth of FrizzyLizzieStitches made my logo for me, and I got them printed onto some stickers. So these are just so fun and so cute. They're like trading cards, and I love them. So I don't know how much this is, maybe 100 or 150. So hopefully that'll last me a little while. I do want to get some Stitch floss drops made as well out of business cards that have my new logo on them, because I have some from years ago before I made a Flosstube channel, and they're cute, but I think that they could definitely use a revamp. So I would love to get some of those made before Stitch North as well, hopefully if I have some time. I also picked up a few sequins from Joann's, RIP, but these are just for, because I'm hoping to make some more of those Satsuma ornaments, and if I'm buying the PDFs, I can grab all the DMC, but this is just from their Pops brand, and these are really similar to the size that she uses. So I just got some gold, this like iridescent color, and then a multicolor pack, and I think I'll be able to make just about anything work with these. So I'm excited to use those. Last little bits of haul. I actually went to visit my roommate from college and my best friend Sloan up in Frederick, Maryland. It is so cute. We had such a good time. We went to DC for the day and then shopped around Frederick, which is just the cutest little town. Got some delicious crab cakes and just had a lovely weekend together. But while we were there were actually two lovely craft stores downtown. One was a yarn store and the other was like a wool. It had a ton of wool. Like if you were into wool applique, it would be perfect for you. But they did have a little bit of cross stitch as well. So I picked up a few things, but first there was the yarn store called Magpie Fibers, and it was a beautiful store. It was an old bank, so they had like a safe that had a lot of yarn in it and stuff. But this is the yarn that I picked up. It is a sock base, a light fingering weight, 100% superwash merino wool by Malabrigo, and this one is called Disfraz, Disfraz, I believe. Yeah, there it is. And it's just so pretty. I think I'm gonna make a muscle burrow hat with this one because I don't love how my first muscle burrow turned out, but I just love this color. I love speckles. This is so fun, and I think it would make a great hat that would match my coat that I have, which is just like a plain gray. So I feel like this would go very well with it for the winter time. So I think I'm going to bring this to cast on in the car on the way to Stitch North as well. And it's a very, very soft fiber. So love that. The store was so precious. This is the only thing that I picked up, but it was really nice. There was just a lot of nice people working there, and they had a ton of options, a ton of really cute stuff. And it was mainly fibers and yarns, but they did also have a lot of other things as well, like a ton of calligraphy supplies and stationery and stuff like that. Last little bit of haul I have was that wool store. Like I mentioned, I actually found their business cards. So here's this if you are interested yourself. It's called Primitive Homespun Wool and Needleworks, and it was just a really cool store. There was a gentleman working at the front that was very knowledgeable and was just super sweet and nice to talk to. But I picked up a Blackbird's design chart. This is 3 stockings for June, and I was born in June, so I just thought this was super cute. One of them is like a little stork with a baby. I love these flowers and this little design here. So yeah, I definitely like this one the best. So super cute. Just picked that up impulsively. And then the next thing I picked up were actually these charms that I'm not sure, maybe they make these. It does have their design on them, but they're just little charms that say handmade. And then these ones say handmade and they're flowers. And they were cute and affordable. I made my friend, when I went to visit her, one of those little boxy bags like I had made for my English paper piecing supplies. And so I thought it would be cute to have a little charm or something to attach to the zipper that says handmade on it. So picked up some of those to have for the next time I make bags for people. And last thing is this stitch marker. It says Stitch and Bitch Club member. And I just thought it was really funny and I had to have it. I don't even really use needle minders anymore, but I like to display them over here. So that was cute and silly. And yeah, that is what I have for haul, as well as my stuff that I picked up from Market that I've already started. Moving into plans, the only thing that I really have planned is a new start for Stitch North. I'll be starting it with my friends Bridget and Cam, and also whoever wants to start it with us while they're there. It is the Charming Cow Sampler by Little Robin Designs. I'll insert a picture of the chart here. It's just so cute and goofy. I love it. What I have picked out is Golden Harvest by Atomic Ranch for this. It's a 40 count, and it is definitely like a bright orange. And I think it will be really fun. I might punch the colors up a little bit while we're there. I'm going to pick up, hopefully from Roxy Floss. But I did pull the called for DMC as well that I've got tucked away in here. But I'm super excited to start this with my friends, and I think it'll be super, super cute. Excuse me. So, feels like I talked about just about every, oh my gosh, I have the hiccups. Hold on a second. Anyways, it feels like I have worked on like every project that I have going, and I've also started so many new things. So I was really great to sit down and chat with you all about them. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you stuck around this long, do not forget to sign up for the giveaway as well by leaving a comment kitty in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.